Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to this special MAPC Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. I am your president, Erin Mortman, and I'm thrilled that you've all taken time to be here today. This special meeting is being conducted remotely via Zoom video conference and is consistent with Governor Baker's Executive Order of March 12th, 2020, and as extended by Section 2475, signed by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021. Section 2475 also allows town councils, state boards, and other bodies to hold remote public meetings until April 1st, 2022. To provide the public access to the meeting while limiting the potential for abuse for video conferencing technology, members of the public may view this proceeding at youtube.com/MAPC Metro Boston. I want to thank you all for joining us again. I want to thank, before we get going, I want to thank staff for getting this together. The turnaround time for less than 2 weeks is aggressive, and I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate everyone who took time to come in today. Obviously, we're being recorded and we're being streamed right now, so please be conscious of that if you do choose to share your screen. If you can see me, I can probably see you, and members of the public can see you as well. So just be aware of that. And with that, I'm thrilled to be here today. And as we've done with previous council meetings that have been done in this kind of format, what we've been doing is that as you've been coming into the room, if you are a council member or an alternate, we have been checking you off the attendance in order to have quorum. So at this time, I'm going to call on Sasha, who's the event and special projects specialist. And what she's going to do is she's going to go through the attendance of people who either were missed on check-in or may have arrived since we started this meeting. So just to be clear, if your name is not called and you are a delegate, either representing city, town, gubernatorial, or ex officio, that means you are already counted as part of the roll. And then if you are here and your name is called, just please indicate so in the chat. So with that, Sasha, take it away.
Thank you so much, Erin. So as Erin mentioned, if your name is called, please just say present or here in the chat. I will go starting with cities and towns. Bellingham, Jim Kupfer. Beverly, Michael Cahill. Brookline, Allison Steinfield. Duxbury, Kristen Rappy. Essex, Peter Fippen. Everett, Tony Sousa. Hanover, Ann Lee. Holliston, Tina Colangelo. Hopkinton, Amy Ritterbush. Hull, Chris Diorio. Lincoln, Paula Vaughn McKenzie. Lynn, James Marsh. Linfield, Robert Dolan. Manchester, Christine Delicio. Marblehead, Steve Lavrone. Maynard, Chris De Silva. Medway, Barbara St. Andre. Millis, Robert Wace. Norfolk, Richard McCarthy. Norwell, Bruce Graham. Peabody, Kurt Bellavance. Quincy, oh, Quincy's here. Rockland, Jen Constable. Saugus, Jeanette Fasano. Topsfield, Kevin Haratunian. Wakefield, Aaron Kokinda. Wenham, Margaret Hoffman. Weymouth, Robert Headland. Wilmington, Valerie Gingrich. Winchester, Brian Seekley. Winthrop, Austin Faison. That is it for the cities and towns. I will now move on to the gubernatorial council members. Zamawa Arenas. Lisa Broad. Sol Carbonell. Kelly Chun. Robert Cohen. Daniel Garcia de Coto. Matilda McGee Tubb. Stephen Silvera. Ramani Sripada. Kelly Strong. And Samuel Wong. And lastly, I will finish up with ex officio designees. Chris Osgood. Lauren Shirtliff. Sean Canty. Jim Montgomery. Kat Banesh. And John Bouchard. And with that, Erin, I will pass it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sasha. And thank you those who noted in the chat that you are here. I really appreciate it. And I really do appreciate everyone coming in because, Sasha, can I just have confirmation that we are at and above quorum?
We are at and above quorum, correct.
Thank you, everyone. Very exciting. So obviously the purpose of today's special meeting is to render a decision on Metro Common 2050. So for some very quick remarks, I'm going to call on Executive Director Mark Droysen. Mark, take it away.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And Erin, thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for being here. I want to thank, as I have before, the members of the staff and the External Advisory Committee for tremendous effort over the course of the last 3 years to do the research and the engagement necessary to bring this plan into place and to accommodate and discuss with all of the various strong opinions that we have in this region in order to create a plan that I think is transformative yet achievable. We started out with the idea of tweaking Metro Future with everything that's been happening in our region, in our state, and in our country. That was no longer a viable option. And so we have a dramatically different plan, one that I think is immensely stronger, broader in its appeal, and more aggressive in its objectives, in its goals and policy recommendations. As you know, the plan has in its entirety been available to all of you for a month. The staff led by Eric Hove held office hours that any council member could participate in to ask questions or to render opinions. When we last gathered, Eric went through a detailed presentation and we had commentary by members who were present. And we then, when we called the special council meeting a week ago, provided people again with the link to the plan and also with a link to Eric's presentation, which had been cleaned up and expanded from the one he gave earlier to make up for some difficulties that we had that day with the slideshow, with the PowerPoint. So I'm sorry, old-fashioned words, slideshow, with the PowerPoint. And so I feel that we have engaged in a tremendous amount of discussion and debate regarding the plan, and I'm very proud of the document that we are putting forward to you today. So with that, my hope is, and my endorsement, also the endorsement of the Executive Committee and the External Advisory Committee, by votes that both have taken, is to adopt Metro Common 2050 as the official land use and policy plan for the Greater Boston region. With that, I will turn it back over to President Wortman.
Thank you, Mark. And I echo your sentiments on the thanks and appreciation for everyone involved. So what we are going to do for a matter of efficiency and ease, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call for a motion and then a second. And at that time, I will ask anyone if there are any questions or comments before we move forward on the vote. In order to, I ask that all motions and seconds first be acknowledged in the chat. And then if you have a question or comment, please use the reaction button, which is at the bottom of your screen. So if you're looking at the screen, it's right under Mark's face right now, and hit the reaction symbol and it says raise hand. And I will call on people in the order in which they appear. And I'm just going to ask, because I am committed to finishing by 10 a.m. today, because I know people have things to do and there are other meetings happening today. We're going to just ask that we keep the comments or questions brief. And I appreciate your cooperation in advance with that. So with that being said, I see Mo Handel of Needham has moved for the adoption of Metro Common 2050, and Andrew Sheehan of Middleton has seconded. So thank you, Mo of Needham and Andrew of Middleton, for your second. And then I'm going to just pause real quick to see if anyone has any questions or comments before we vote. Again, please use the raise hand icon, which is located at the reaction button, and then the raise hand is like the first one there. And I will give it a few seconds for that. Oh, I see 1, 2. Okay. Hold on, everyone. Paula of Lincoln, I have you first. Paula.
Oh, I thought we were voting, but
Okay,
I'll just say hello to everyone. It's my first meeting. I've just been appointed the rep from Lincoln, so I'm a little late to the party here, but got a distress signal that they didn't have a quorum for the last meeting. So I am happy to join you all in support of this this plan.
Paula, we're thrilled to have you. Thank you so much. Paul, I don't know where you're from, Paul, but Paul H.
Good morning. Yeah, I thought we were voting too. Sorry about that.
Okay, it's no big deal. No big deal. So if you thought you were voting, please put your raised hand button down. All right, great. We will be voting via the chat, but I'm giving just a couple seconds here. I see Richard. Hi, Richard. You have a question or comment at this time?
Yes, am I unmuted? I have a couple of concerns, and one of which, if this is a plan that is supposed to be adopted for the region, what does that do to the individual planning departments and zoning ZBAs in each of the municipalities and within the region?
Okay, Mark.
Mark,
Yeah.
Mark,
Sorry, Richard.
Yes,
Yeah,
just
Mark,
to
go
answer
ahead.
the question simply, and actually the representative from Brookline brought this up in our last discussion. The regional plan is aspirational. It is a statement on the part of the people who adopt it about the future of the region they would like to see and some of the steps that they would like to take to get there. It is not legally binding on individual communities, zoning boards, planning boards, boards of selectmen, mayors. That is governed by the general laws powers that those entities have in regard to their authority within the community.
my second question or concern with the plan is that it appears, and based on an article that appeared, I think, a year ago, Mark, you had talked about the densifying the suburbs or urbanizing the suburbs. Is that the intent of Metro Common 2050?
Again, trying to be brief, Richard. This is a smart growth organization, and this is a smart growth plan. Our mission is smart growth and regional collaboration. Our 4 priorities under our strategic plan are smart growth, regional collaboration, equity, and climate, dealing with climate. I don't think we're trying to densify or urbanize the suburbs. What we are trying to do is that we believe jobs and homes should be located primarily in places where infrastructure already exists. And therefore, we encourage development of homes and jobs in areas that already have homes and jobs and areas that already have infrastructure. And if necessary, we work to improve the caliber and quality of that infrastructure to meet demand. We believe, and I think this plan indicates, that there is a way to grow smart in all kinds of communities, but it's not the same everywhere. There's a way to grow smart in the city. There's a way to grow smart in the suburbs. There's even a way to grow smart in the more rural areas. And it generally involves development in areas where infrastructure already exists.
Here's my last question. I know that in a prior session that Mark, you had mentioned, or I believe it was you that mentioned that hundreds of people have weighed in on Metro Common, and that a number of consultants or people with certain expertise participated in those discussions. Was a constitutional attorney involved at all? Because one of the things that I think people might want to be concerned about is the diminution of value of property. And I think that by what I have read, or how I have read the Metro Common, and I went through every section of it, that if there is a diminution of value of one's property as a result of policies that would be imposed, applied, adopted, where is the money going to come from to the aggrieved parties to get whole?
Well, I don't, first of all, let me say it's not hundreds, it's thousands of people that have been involved in the Metro Common process over the course of the past 3 years, including over the past year and a half virtually. Many, many lawyers were involved, perhaps exceeding their percentage in the population. I do not know, or do not recall, if a constitutional lawyer was involved. The property rights issues, as they affect public policy and appropriate compensation, are complex and evolving. I think that many of the recommendations in Metro Common, are unrelated to those issues. There are probably a few where legitimate legal contention might occur around that question.
Yes.
And I think that those issues will be resolved either legally or through policy debate when and if they come up. I think that there are very, very few items in Metro Common where that issue is likely to be raised, but undoubtedly, it's a common issue, commonly debated, and I'm sure it will come up every now and then. I'm not sure that I should be responding to every single question here and engaging in the debate, but Aaron, I will leave that to you to control.
Okay. Richard, I believe you said that was your last question. I don't want to cut you off, but is that
No. Those were the 3 points that I wanted to bring up.
Okay. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, no problem. I see Adam is next. Adam Chapdelaine of Arlington.
Hi, thank you, Aaron. My name is Adam Chapdelaine, work as the town manager in Arlington. Some of you heard some version of this at the last meeting, but I did want to take this opportunity to express my enthusiastic support for this plan and to implore all of you to similarly enthusiastically support this plan. We have myriad challenges ahead of us as a region, and those challenges are scary. And I think some of what we read in this plan might be scary to us, right? It signals change, it signals hard decisions at the regional level, the state level, and certainly at the local level. I think as a local official, it's important for me to remark that it's not likely that the town that I work for, or that really any of the towns participating today, are going to adopt every recommendation of Metro Common. But we need the tools and the recommendations and the analysis and the research to be provided to us, so we're set up as best possible to tackle the challenges ahead of us. And I think Metro Common, via the stakeholder engagement, the community engagement, and its willingness to tackle the really difficult challenges ahead of us, sets us up as best possible to succeed in the face of these challenges in the years ahead. So I'm glad everybody was able to tune in today. I'm one of those folks that has to jump off at 10 a.m., but I really do hope we can pass this today and put it into action. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. I'm not seeing any other new hands go up. So with that, there's a motion before us. And again, that motion was made by Mo in Needham and seconded by Andrew in Middleton. So with that, so what we're going to do is those delegates that are here before us, or alternate delegates, if the delegate for who you represent is not here, at this time, we are going to first vote affirmative, then the against, and then the abstentions. So at this time, those who are voting for the motion before us, which is the adoption of Metro Common 2050, please do so in the chat at this time. And we will have MAPC staff vote on that. Richard of Norfolk and John, do you have your hands raised because you have a question, or no? Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Just to be clear, the vote is to vote aye or yes in the chat, not to raise your hand.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Mark. Give a couple more seconds for those people. Okay. And those parties who wish to vote against the adoption of Metro Common 2050, please do so in the chat at this time. You can do so by saying no or nay. And MAPC staff, thank you for counting all these votes. I appreciate it. All right, and now at this time, if there are any abstentions, I don't know if I voted. Okay. So with that, I'm just letting thank you to those parties who are also abstaining. Okay. Yes, Elaine, if you need to abstain, you need to abstain. All right. Okay, so for the abstentions, I see Courtney, Rainey, Juan Vega, Elaine Vanya, and Vandana Rao are the abstentions. I believe, Richard, I saw you vote against, but I believe everyone else voted in favor. And with that, the motion passes and Metro Common 2050 is now adopted. So thank you so much for that. Yes, thank you as well. Mark, is there anything else before we do my second favorite motion of the day?
I will only say a big thank you to everyone. And I will also note that Eric and Emily and Sasha are all working very actively on the rollout plan, which will take place gradually over the course with events and activities over the course of the next several months. So thank you all very much. Wonderful to see you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. And with that, I am going to look for, oh gosh, everyone's messaging in here. All right, Frank of Quincy, motion to adjourn. Thank you, Frank. And I see George of Somerville did the second. And with that, all those in favor of adjourning, please indicate so in the chat. And those against or abstentions? Great. And I will say motion passes. A special meeting is adjourned at 9:56 a.m., 4 minutes before my deadline. So thank you so much, everyone. I look forward to the rollout for Metro Common 2050, and I hope to see you either virtually or in person soon. Have a good one.